Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's get started.
Okay. Better than what you think.
Okay, I'm going to just ask my friends on Zoom that if you have a question, just unmute yourself and ask it. That way we can just keep rolling. So, welcome. Today we're going to talk about MLS Rapid Stats. And I actually just started playing with this a few days ago, so I'm going to be learning a lot of stuff with you as well. But what I want you to hear is that the really cool part is don't feel like you have to interpret the data of Rapid Stats. I'm going to show you how to throw it into Gemini, which is our free AI account through our Google Workspaces. And it's going to interpret the data for you and then give you some really great speaking points, which then you can bring to your listing presentations. Cool. So that's really what we're going to focus on today. But first, I'm going to show you how to get to Rapid Stats. So from MLS, Rapid Stats is a third-party system. So you have to find it under products. So when you're in MLS, you're going to go to the main menu in the top left-hand corner. And you're going to scroll down till you see products. This is where you're going to find like your access to online showings, trust funds, those sort of things. But there is Rapid Stats. And if you feel like you're going to use this a lot, which once you get in here and start playing with it, I think you will, just go ahead and hit the star to add it to your quick tab up at the top.
Wait, you don't have it? I don't get a lot of stuff on MLS, so yeah, I'm not sure.
That's okay. So if you get a screen that has a bunch of like blue boxes on it, scroll to the bottom and hit OK or accept or yes. There's a button towards the bottom of that screen.
Okay. So that's interesting. Okay.
Because that allows you then to have access because it's a third-party product. They're basically saying like, is it okay to share information?
Okay, cool.
That's what that screen is.
Oh, really?
All right, so I'm going to click on Rapid Stats.
So far, I'm doing very good.
You got it.
You got it. Okay. So on the left-hand side, it's going to bring up several different kinds of reports that you can pull. So we have a market summary, new listings, current listings, sold listings, supply versus demand, agent metrics. So if you want to see your own statistics, and then some infographics, and then you can save reports which you would find under like my report at the bottom here. There is a dashboard where you can see kind of the most hot filtered things right now. I went ahead and I set mine up for Waukesha County, but you can also set this up for multiple counties or a specific county, and you can come in here and change that every time you run a report. So on the top right-hand side, mine says viewing Waukesha County data. I can click that and I can do all counties, which is a lot, and a lot of counties that you probably don't cover, so I really wouldn't do that. I would focus on the counties you cover, so Milwaukee, Ozaukee, Racine, Washington County, Waukesha. Okay. So I'm going to show you what some of these reports look like, and then I'm going to show you what to do with the reports, right? Because we can pull reports all day, but that doesn't actually help us in our business. So the first one is the market summary report. And inside the market summary report, we have several different buckets of reports that you can pull. So under residential, there's a market statistics summary. And if you ever just click on show description, it'll kind of tell you what it's about as well. So again, you're going to want to come in here and you're going to want to play with a lot of these reports and start to pull them all. So I'm going to click on the monthly local market report here. I'm just going to click on view.
Hey, I have a quick question. So when we're clicking on that, have we already, in the upper right, previously picked a county or an area?
No, that is just for that dashboard screen. When you come in here to the report, then you're going to have the ability to filter it by any specific county. So you can run multiple reports for different counties. that sort of thing. So county, I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to deselect all, and I'm going to do Waukesha. You can filter it down to city and zip code if you want. So if you're looking for, if you're going on a listing appointment in the city of Waukesha, we can come in here and narrow it down even more to be more relevant to maybe the listing that we're going on. Keep in mind, if you don't like the data, back out, right? Make it a little bit more worldly. So if you don't get a lot of data that tells the story that you want, maybe do county of Waukesha instead of just city of Waukesha, right? And then all you have to do, you don't have to put a whole lot of filters in this at first if you don't want to. Just hit the green refresh report button on the right-hand side. So this is going to pull the monthly local market report for the city of Waukesha in Waukesha County. And it'll be January's 2026 data. I think MLS is pretty good about updating data around the 10th of the month-ish. So just be aware of that. So what happened in the city of Waukesha in January? New listings decreased by 4%. Closed transactions increased by 27%. And the sales price increased by 15%. You get year-to-date graphs, median sales price averages from prior year. And if you're like me, you're probably looking at this like, what the heck does this even mean? How do I tell this story? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit download in the middle of my screen here. I'm going to download this report. I'm going to open up a new tab. I'm signed into my KW email. So your KW Google email gives you access to a whole bunch of the Google suite. One of those features is an upgraded pro version of Gemini. So Gemini is Google's AI. It's much like ChatGPT. So I'm going to click on the square of dots in the upper right-hand corner, and then I'm going to click on Gemini. So if you're used to using an AI, this should look pretty familiar to you, right? And my prompt is going to be something simple. It's going to be interpret the data in this report to share with a potential seller on why they should sell their home now versus waiting until the summer. Okay. And then I'm going to hit the plus sign to add files, upload files. I'm going to do this again. So we're going to do one to get we'll do another one of these and I'll show you what it looks like. Here's the monthly local market report I downloaded. And then Gemini has a setting on how quickly do you want it to think. Yours might be defaulted to like fast. I like to leave it on thinking because I want it to actually like think through some of these answers. I feel like you get a little bit more accurate and well thought out answers when you do that. So I leave mine on thinking. And I'm going to hit submit. So we pulled the monthly local market data for the city of Waukesha. I threw it into Gemini and I asked it to give me a reason why sellers should sell their house now. Right? Here's what it says. Listing your home now might actually be more advantageous than waiting for the traditional summer rush. While many sellers wait for warmer weather, the current metrics show a market that is leaning heavily in a seller's favor right now. Here's why. Less competition, more eyes. Currently, the number of new listings is down 4.6% compared to last year. In January 2026, there were only 63 new listings compared to 66 in January of 25. By listing now, your home isn't competing with a flood of inventory that typically hits the market in June or July. You are the big fish in a smaller pond. Despite it being winter, buyers are active. Closed sales have jumped up 27.3%. Waukesha saw 42 closed sales in January compared to only 33 the previous year. This indicates that serious buyers are out in force right now and aren't waiting for the snow to melt to make a move. this sound pretty convincing?
Mhm.
Could you take these speaking notes to a listing appointment? So you give them that graphic, right? You could print this. You can say, here's what's going on in the city of Waukesha right now. Here's the data. And let me tell you all about it. We're at record high sales price, which means sellers are still receiving 97% of their original list price. Buyers are willing to pay top dollar for houses in the city of Waukesha. And why it takes roughly 2 months to find the right buyer in this market. So listing in January, February puts you in position to close and move just as the summer begins. Now, if you feel like you want to keep manipulating the data to drive better points, so like days on market, 65 days, that seems wildly inaccurate to me. But that's taking into account every property that was listed in the city of Waukesha. Okay, so maybe we do need to put some filters into that monthly local report to maybe have a minimum list price, right? Or minimum bedroom count, or something so that we can really capture more of the data that we're looking for. Or you just use this as a talking point. Look, the average house sits on the market for 65 days. Some houses sell in 24 hours. Some might take a little longer, right? Does this make sense?
You know, the only thing we're gonna go through every step again, right?
Yeah.
It's the download part, how what we've seen on Rapid Stats gets to Gemini to make that data.
Yeah, okay. Let's go through another one. So this was the monthly local market. I want to do the agent metrics one because I want to show you that one. Okay. So you, especially once you have a lot of listings and you have some stories to tell through the MLS, can pull, and this works for teams, you can pull your own metrics via the MLS on your listings, how quickly you've converted them, et cetera, et cetera. And then you could put that into Gemini as well to really build out more speaking points about me as an agent. Okay. So I'm going to go to agent efficiency report. Okay. This is going to give us a lot more data about like your list to sale price, your days on market. I'm going to click view. And then it's going to ask for your Met ID or an agent name. And James, since you're here, I'm going to use the Krickerberg group.
Yeah, these two quick group, that's our group.
Yeah. Group. So if you're on a team, so make sure you're selecting your team's Met ID. And then I'm just going to hit refresh report.
Did you check to make sure this was good news before you?
I know.
Nope. This is on the fly, so Jade's going to kill me if Okay. So let's look at the Krickerberg group here. Here's their closure rate. In the last 12 months, they've had 48 close, which is up 23% from the prior 12 months. Average days on market has dropped significantly from the prior 12 months to 10 days on market. Average day to close is crazy quick at 16.
And these are just listings, right? The average date to close is, I'm looking at my own, sorry, why is it so long? An average date of final contract? Is that
Pending.
average date of pending? Got it.
Yeah, I would assume that's the pending date.
Okay. And average days to close? Seriously, I was at 12 days to close, my average? This isn't secret.
I mean, I don't know.
Is that from pending?
It might, maybe it's pending to close and not
Or is it-
accepted offer to
Or at
close.
least more
That would
average.
make more sense.
That would make
Yeah.
more sense if it was pending to
Right.
close.
That's it.
feel like it could be under contract to close.
Is the top one?
It could be under
all
contract.
Accepted offer, bottom one is from accepted offer to close, and the middle is the whole thing.
Yeah. That seems like it would make
Well,
more
there's
sense.
Yeah.
Because-
Don't get, you guys, you're getting lost in the weeds here. Just be like, my average days to close is 26, and then move on.
Right.
All right.
In our own heart is pretty.
Lie.
You turn the weeds. You just keep going. Remember, if you don't dwell on things in front of the clients, they don't even ask about it. So just keep it moving, right? Okay. But here we go. Sold to original list price average. So the Krickerberg Group on average closes at 103% list to sale price. Is that valuable to take to a listing appointment?
Kind of. I mean, they're gonna expect that. And I thought there was some previous research up there that the average was 97% of list price. So again, we don't show them that first one.
Oh, up here?
Like if the county is, if the average on the MLS is 97%, but yours is 103, then
Yeah,
that's.
that makes sense.
Yeah. So the point made is that, so the Krickerbergs have 103% average, but the countywide or the city of Waukesha that I pulled was at a 97%. They have a reason now to state that their list to sale price is significantly higher than the average agent in the city of Waukesha. Tell your story, right? Let's see. No deals have fallen apart. Good job, guys. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what it says. And then it actually has listing history of the most recent 100 listings of theirs. So if you really want the numbers to back, if you really want the data to show, because you have like a high C seller, be like, well, here's my last 100 list, like whatever number it gives you, right? So now let's put together a little script. So again, I'm going to hit download in the middle here. Hit download. And go back to Gemini. Always start a new chat when it's a new topic. Don't keep going in the same chat. Your AI learns better when you start new chats. Okay. Now, if you're actually talking back to it on the same prompt, that's fine. But if you're going to ask it a new question, it's a new chat, and your AI will start to learn better. There you go. There's a pro tip for you. Okay. So what do we want to ask it about this? Interpret my listing data to show sellers why I'm perfect choice to sell their home. And then there's a little plus sign in this chat box that says add files. So you click on that, click upload files. It's going to go to open your downloads folder. You're going to find the file that you downloaded and hit open. And then you see how it's like attaching the PDF into the chat box. And then I'm going to change mine from fast to thinking and hit submit.
I had a question, Kathleen. Do you like Gemini more than ChatGPT?
I like them for different things. So this Gemini, because it's powered by Keller Williams, actually has a lot of Keller Williams systems and models trained to it. So if you're like, hey, I read this on page 69 of the MREA, can you help me understand it? It'll be able to spit that back out at you a lot easier than maybe like a ChatGPT who has to surf the web for that information. I like my chat feels more human to me. That's weird, right? But like when I ask it to like write me emails, I like what it gives me better than Gemini, but I also haven't spent as much time training my Gemini than I have my chat. Also, I don't pay for ChatGPT, so I can use the free version of Gemini to do other things. It built me an entire business plan once because I was curious on something.
I've done it.
Yep.
Was it a?
It also,
institutional business or
it-
was it kind
it
of?
also wrote me lease agreements, which I don't know if those are, but they sounded good, so.
How can we help or use these stats if you're a newer agent, and you don't have any listings?
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go through some of that,
Okay.
but yeah. So here is James Krickerberg's efficiency report information. Maximizing your profit. My list to sale ratio outperformed over 1% than even the previous year. Unmatched speed. My average days on market. Proven success. 94% success rate. Precision from the start. Minimal pricing adjustments. On average, I've only changed the price 0.2 changes per listing. So only a quarter of my listings have ever had a price adjustment. Which means when I pull comps, I'm accurate, is what James gets to say.
That's what my was trying to say now. Even though my stats are up and down, but it still gives me how to spin some things so that it.
Yeah, because you're telling Gemini, tell me why I'm the best. And so it's going to look at that data and it's going to interpret it in the most positive way it can for you and then tell you how to say that. Right? So then it gives us a whole summary pitch. What do you think of that, James?
I like it.
Would you take that to the seller?
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Yeah. Just memorize those 3 sentences and in and out the door. Right? Here's where you sign. Cool. Okay. So a question was brought up on, I'm a new agent. I don't have listings in MLS. How do I put this together to make it look like, how do I present this information? So in this agent efficiency report, you can actually pull it for the brokerage. You don't have to stick to just a person or a team. So Met.Keller4 is the North Shore office. You can do Met.Keller. Come on. Just gonna see if it'll work. So I can't see it in the drop down. And if you're, oh, maybe it's not gonna do it. Oh, okay.
Do you have to hit refresh?
Yeah. I swear I did this the other night. Let's do this one. Top producers. And office short ID. Let's do that. Oh, I think it just wants the color. It doesn't want the color. Here we go. Color 4. Milwaukee North Shore. So this is the top agents in like the Milwaukee North Shore based upon listings, which you can do. And I'm just trying this out, just so you know. I haven't tried this specifically, but if I feel like this would work, we'll see. If it doesn't, we'll try something else. New chat. Using this report of top agents in my MLS. Explain to a seller why they should work with Keller Williams. Please do not state any team names. Because I don't want them to be like, well, you should work with the Falk Rubin Gallagher team because, right? Although FRG is probably on here like, no, that's what we want it to say.
Did you say?
What should I pull the indirect racing? Should I pull South Shore or?
Innovation will probably have more data than South Shore will.
What's the? Yeah, what is?
10? Keller 10? If you type in Keller though, it gave like a list, you can scroll through it.
About like 4 to 12%.
Okay,
Keller Williams, Berlin, Coaster, Keller.
yes, there you go,
Keller
12.
Then New Berlin's 8.
New Berlin's 8. Lake Country is 9. North Shore is 4. If you're on Highmark with JSG, you're 6. South Shore is 13.
We do all of them.
Possibly. We can look, but here, so this is what it's, so I said, don't call out a specific team, right? But why should they work with a Keller Williams agent? Basically, you should partner with Keller Williams that consistently leads the market in both sales volume and transaction frequency. Here's why this matters. Holds all the top 10 rankings in this report for current year to date. You might want to leave that out. Our top producing entities, high volume transactions, unmatched exposure, right? So if you're new, the why work with me might be a little more like why work with KW. And you're gonna have to rely on the brokerage metrics if you want like the data behind it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
At least until you get a few and then you start pulling your own reports, right? The bottom line, you deserve a partner with a track record of winning. At Keller Williams, we don't just list homes, we lead the market in getting them sold. Boom. Would you like me to prepare a custom marketing plan based on these current market trends for your specific neighborhood? And then you can keep telling Gemini to make things for you.
So on ChatGPT, you have like the 5 limit conversation unless you pay for it. Does Gemini also have that? Or
No, because you have a pro account, so you could just talk to it nonstop.
Yeah.
I don't know. Christy's talking to Gemini.
Okay. The question was, can we pull more than one KW office? And I think it's going to be yes. So that one, Prestige, Lake Country, Highmark, Southwest. Don't pull these guys. Those are not us. Oh, agent rank maximum. I don't want top 10. I want top 500. Yeah. I get more data for Gemini to interpret, right? So there's our top producers across all the KW Milwaukee MLSs. Again, download this Gemini. I would use a similar prompt using this report. Tell me why you should use Keller Williams. Do not state any team names so that it's agnostic for you if you're utilizing that data. And see what it spits out. If you like it, use it. If you don't like it, run a different report and then throw that in there and see if you like that answer better. Right? Like,
Silly question. How long has Rapid Stats been around? Because I've never seen it.
I have no idea, but the fact that they just added 7 counties feels like it's maybe a little bit newer, like in the last year and a half. James, do you know?
I
Like,
think it has been that long.
Okay.
I remember when it came out, they talked about it.
Makes me feel better.
Could you do that same report, but comparing us against other brokerages? Like, I guess, could you just add other random companies in there, so it's not just us that's looking at?
yeah, so I would pull 2 reports. I would pull this report for us, and then I would then run a report of whatever competitor, maybe you're going up against some flat fee brokerage. Like if you know who your competitor is on a listing, pull their report and then feed them both into Gemini and say, based upon this report and my competitor's report, why should they work with Keller Williams? Spit out the answer. The nice thing I want you to get to know and feel is that Gemini is going to interpret the results for you, right? We can pull all the charts in the world, but that's not good unless somebody interprets it. So that's why we love Charlie's team meetings, because he interprets the data for us and gives us like the grocery store script, right? Like that's super valuable. The interpretation is where, you know, we need to live. So don't spend your time trying to interpret the data. Pull the report that makes sense for the listing appointment you're going on, throw it into Gemini, get 3 speaking points, and then go, right? Feel confident in that and how you're presenting it. So you can do current trends, new listings, things like that. Supply versus demand is probably another really good one for you to bring on listing appointments. You can break it down by price range or any of that, or you can just get the summary. And that includes months of supply and absorption rates. So you can talk more about how quickly the market's moving, what our inventory levels look like. And again, why should you list now, right? So I think all roads lead to get the listing today, right? Like get your sellers to get off the fence. But you can also use these for buyers, right? So when you're in Gemini, flip it. Why should you buy a house now instead of waiting for the summer market? Oh, here's why. And I'll just interpret the data to make sense for that scenario. Make sense? There's infographics in here as well. If you like them to be a little bit prettier. These aren't going to be super customizable, or maybe they are. If you want something that's can be printed for you. If you want like a flyer to email or something. We do make stuff like this into smart plans every month, what the MLS sends us. So it's the similar data. It's probably the same data, honestly. What else do you guys want to see? Not as scary as we thought it was going to be, huh?
Could you go through, is everybody in agreement? Could you go through it step by step one more time?
Sure. Yeah. Let's do supply versus demand because we haven't done that one yet.
It's the download to Gemini for that.
Yep.
Yep.
Getting a report, they gotta show that right there.
Yep. Okay, so supply versus demand. Let's look at this one. I'm going to do it by price range because I feel like usually when we want to interpret data, we're very kind of like in buckets. So I'm going to do Waukesha County. I'm just going to see what this looks like just for the county. So active listings versus whether the supply. So in the 300, 500,000 price range, active listings, seasonally adjusted supply. See, I don't even know how to interpret this.
No.
So because I don't know what this says, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to download it. Download. Go back to Gemini, start a new chat.
I got the
Probably gets to
Yeah.
So when you just open your browser, you should be in Google logged into your KW account. There's these dots on the upper right-hand corner in a square. When you click on that, you'll see Gemini. You can also get to Gemini if you're in like your email. You'll see those dots in the corner. You can click on that, click on Gemini as well. All right, so my prompt for this one is going to be interpret this report to share with a buyer on why they should start looking for a home now in Waukesha County in the 300, 500 price range. So you enter in your prompt. Click on this little plus sign in the chat box that says add files. And then click upload files.
You need that part. You gotta click the plus sign.
Oh, yeah.
Upload it every time.
And then when you click upload files, it'll bring you into like your downloads folder. You select the report you want to use and hit open. And then you'll see that Gemini adds the PDF as part of the chat box. I like to use the thinking speed versus the fast speed. And then hit submit. It's really thinking today. He's got his thinking cap on. He's probably reading this report like, what? Much like we did.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Based upon this report for this price range, inventory is shrinking. Means you have fewer options today than you would have had a year ago, making it critical to engage with the market before supply tightens further. Ooh. Demand is holding firm. The fact that demand is rising slightly while supply is falling indicates a highly competitive segment of the market where well-priced homes are likely to move quickly. The market is speeding up. Suggests the market is becoming even faster and more favorable to sellers. So waiting until the traditional spring rush could mean facing even more competition, potentially higher prices. Why start now? Be early. By starting now, you're looking at the available homes before the full influx of spring buyers enter the market. Lower competition, price stability. Would these make a buyer move? Right? Could we use this to get a buyer off the fence? Right? Uh-huh. Yep. And then you don't have to figure out how to interpret whatever these numbers said because it even confused me. And I'm a numbers person. I like my graphs, but this is a lot.
Thank God for AI.
So, how are you feeling about it? I would just go and just start playing with it. Like I said, you have your pro Gemini account, so it's limitless on the number of prompts you can give it, which means, you can really play with it and get to know those rapid stat reports, get more comfortable with the prompts that you're entering. The minimum number of words you should enter in a prompt is 9. So your prompt should be longer than 9 words. Think about who, what, where, when, why, how, right? Like go back to elementary school, okay, who is this for? Buyers. What do I want them to know? I want them to know this. Where? City of Waukesha, price range, right? Throw all that in there. Tell it how you want it to be interpreted, right? Make sense? Give it a really good prompt. Don't be afraid to write an entire paragraph as your prompt. The longer, the better, honestly.
One or two with the report against the top agent and see why it still is there. Why should you choose me over the whole here?
So I just did a simple, why should you choose me to sell a house? I'm going to do that top producers report that has Falk, Reuben, Gallagher, and Highmark on it. And I'm going to leave it on fast interpretation. Yeah. So you should definitely list with Falk, Reuben, Gallagher, Sarah Oberbrunner, and Stale Realty Group. 100%. Yes. That's what this just spit out, right? So like to Leah's point, the more you put into your prompt, the better you're going to get out of it. If you're just short with your prompts, you're going to be frustrated, like, oh, that's not what I want. And then you're going to have to keep doing it over and over, right?
Direct communication.
There you go.
Look at that.
Because I'm signed in as office support, Kathleen Wooten. So it sees me as an office support account in MLS. But yeah. Look, shout out to Fairhinton, Luvine.
For somebody with low to get the high, like if say Stacy wanted to say, why this, and somebody's comparing them, why should I hire you over Molly Gallagher?
Okay. Let's see, go to agent production.
Should we hire you over James Frittenberg?
Based on what you know about it.
Mhm. Let's. She wants this. We're gonna give it to her. All right. So here's Leah's. She brought the question up, so she gets. I'm gonna hit download on Leah's report. I'm just gonna change the name on here. So. All right. So now we're gonna go into Gemini. You want this to be positive, right? So here is Leah's report and the Zuckerberg group report. Why should a seller list with Leah versus Zuckerberg group?
I know.
See what it does. I'm gonna grab Leah's, and I think this one was Zuckerberg. Please be nice, Gemini.
Did you ask or we did that? This time.
So it gave both answers. Why choose Zuckerberg's and why choose Leah? And then it gives a comparison chart. So things that I would maybe focus on is the price changes. I mean, with that Zuckerberg group there,
Yeah.
they changed the prices of their homes.
Well,
Everyone I've listed, I've pegged, you know, you never had a price drop here.
Never had.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Again, they focus on.
Here we go. Leah may be a fit for a seller who values a representative with a perfect record of 0 price changes, indicating a very conservative, accurate initial pricing strategy. So that's what she can lean into. Right? And I get it. Like I get as a solo agent that sometimes you are up against the big teams. I know the competition in Whitefish Bay. I get it, right? Like I understand the competition around the lakes in Heartland, right? So figure out where your strengths are, have Gemini do some comparison, and then tell Gemini, focus solely on the price changes. Write me a reason, you know, like dive further into this talking point or that talking point, that sort of thing.
I have a question. To get his data. So I live in Story Hill and I've sold 18. How would I just highlight that neighborhood?
Yeah, the question is, can you do neighborhood?
This is also the Heights, Washington Heights.
Yeah. Well, I think, I mean, your report is going to be, like have all that included, right? And you can't really filter down the agent reports specifically.
I could do sold separately from when I represented buyers.
Yeah, let's see if,
But-
what kind of filters are in here. So zip code is,
53208.
That's huge.
There's a lot of variables.
There's
Yeah,
way
I
too many.
I mean, dwelling type, at least, you know, single family. Price range, I mean,
Guys, it's huge.
3 to 5, 5 to 7, 2 to 3.
That will help,
Yeah.
but I'm still gonna get more than started. But let's see what we get.
There's also my map shapes. Let's play around with that tool because I think maybe that'll
Yeah.
do what we're wanting. All right, so I'm going to click on my map shapes at the bottom. Loading map shapes. Create map shape. So
Yep, that's it.
yeah, so you can really like,
You're like,
Have an overlay on there.
where did you get the map shape? I just. Oh, thank you.
hold on. Satellite view, find my location, and just no. So there's no overlays that I can see. But let's just, I don't know where anything is in Milwaukee.
Go a little farther west at the bottom.
Like here,
Yeah, keep going.
like past Marquette.
Yeah, past Marquette, it's 50th.
There it is, Storyville, can you
Yeah,
see
see,
it?
right.
Ah, right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna just. All right, so it's a click, and then a click, and then a click, and if it's like the MLS, you double click. Okay, and then save to my map shapes. Right, something like that. Save map shape. Boom. All right, now solds. Sold listings, summary. Then there's a toggle, show my map shapes. Here's the map shape I want.
There's no time frame on it. Is
That's what I was gonna ask you.
This went back to 2024, last 24 months.
Was there one?
I need more.
Was there one on the agent summary?
Well, there's nothing pulling.
That's current year, prior year. Yeah, it's not giving like really good data.
Did you put her name?
The agent metrics one. You want the efficiency or just your sales? We'll do the efficiency. Okay, so what's your met?
24240.
Yeah, it doesn't look like I can do the map shape on here.
Well, I can play with this. I just wanted people to see if they wanted a specific neighborhood or area.
Yeah, market summary. Show my map
What
shapes.
report do you find yourself? Well, maybe not, since you're not wearing the agent hat all the time, but what is, you think, the most valuable reports for an agent going into a listing appointment? If you were to make a list of like 5.
Yeah, okay, so you're going out a listing appointment, right? You've got your normal like listing presentation, you've got your comps, right? So you've gotten your CMA. I think if you need more data to sell yourself, then it's the agent metrics. If you need data to get them off the fence, then I would definitely do the supply versus demand or the market summary. I think just in general, the market summary is just a useful one because most people most people have ideas about the market, but they're getting that information usually nationally, right? And so it's our job to hyper localize that information for them. And it makes you the expert of that area, right? So the fact that you can come in here and pull a specific report, even down to a neighborhood, because you did the map, I think, oh, look, we have data December. I think that that's the stuff that you want to bring, right? If you don't feel like you need to sell yourself because you've already got that, like my listing presentation's tight and it has all my stats in it already. I don't need the agent comparison. I don't need that information. Fine. Don't worry about that one. But if you're, I would think always bring that market statistics of like, here's just in last month, here's what's happening. Here's how it's interpreted. And set the tone right there of, I know what's happening in the city of Brookfield. I know this market. And I think if you go in with that, like that just leads the confidence further, right? So, your questions. Any other questions? Does Zoom land have any questions? No? You feeling a little more confident about it?
This is really cool. Thank you for your.
Other stuff.
I had no idea Rapid Stats existed. I feel like this is gonna really help.
Yeah.
It's a question of why should we choose me against this agent who sold billions of real estate. I don't know what to say, but now I feel like I've got something.
Could you use this information to farm a neighborhood? How would you do that? Like, what ideas would you have? I'm a brand new agent and I don't have any data in the MLS to work off of, and I want to farm my neighborhood. What should I go door knocking with? Yeah, like these market summary. Oh, the infographics and the market summaries.
For instance, door knock.
And throw it in ChatGPT and say, give me a script for when I go door knocking.
Or create a flyer.
Mm-hmm.
And then make it contents of flyer.
Yeah.
And you just design it in Canva.
Mm-hmm.
It already is nice looking.
Relevant and fun,
Yeah.
if you wanted to brand it.
Yeah, you gotta bring it to you.
So I think there's a lot of things that you can do with this data. You just got to think about how you want to use it and then ask Gemini for help.
It's like 1,000 times nicer than the other MLS like reports that were in there.
Oh yeah, MLS reports are kind of garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have better reports for the market analysis than when we're going to, there's just, I mean, it's good information, it just doesn't look pretty.
Versus RPR. RPR this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Fair Hinton Group and half of our team's in Chicago, and like their InfoSparks platform is so slick and nice, and you can go neighborhood by neighborhood and get all this data. And so we've been like, where do we find the data?
Yeah.
So this has
Yeah.
been really helpful.
Yeah, I know our CMAs are limited. You either have to use MLS or RPR. RPR reports are nicer looking, right? So I know a lot of agents tend to use that more. So maybe like as you're prepping your RPR report, you take one or two of these and kind of strategically throw them in there and make it more hyper focused on that area, city or neighborhood or.
Does Gemini do images?
I haven't been able to get it to make anything yet, but
It does.
it does.
The images, because I tried doing quite a few tasks. Those last thing. No, I don't know if that's just something
You
I
can ask
did,
it
but
right
that's
now.
what it-
Yeah.
Give me an image of
I
how.
love the color.
I got one.
get it right, code.
Like writing code.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Maybe a graph. Average price changes per listing. Yeah, snip that graph right there.
It'll there.
Who would you show it that?
So I would say Gemini is probably not the best for making you pretty images.
Fashion and chat GPT.
Yeah, maybe. So use your unlimited prompts in Gemini to get the data you want, and then maybe see if Gemini can make you something. So cool. All right. I think that's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.